Recording is in progress. I've never asked you, do you hear that lady voice say that, or is it just me? Can
I
you
hear it, and then I get a pop-up on my screen that I guess it allows me to be recorded as well.
Legally, yes.
Yeah, something like that.
Hello and welcome, everybody. All of you, Brandon Abbey, Daryl Snyder. We have Brandon 2 days in a row. We are on a record-setting streak. He's not been on assignment, it's been all ours for 2 days.
I won't be on assignment until my shoulder gets better, it looks like.
Oh, no golfing. What'd the doctor say?
Well, he wants me to go to a specialist and talk to him about rehab, and I've got to get an X-ray, and I got a cortisone shot in my hand for another issue that I'm having. But if you've never had a cortisone shot, it's not something to look forward to.
I hear they're rather painful. I've not had one, but I do
Yeah.
read stories about the athletes saying it's
Very
not a fun thing. Well, this is Fantasy Sports Logic and a little bit of our doctor's hour there. We'll get through that in the first few minutes of what's going on with certain ailments. But Daryl Snyder, Brandon Abbey, daily deeper dive podcast with our friends from Ballpark Pal. We go over these charts today, Friday, August 4th. Pretty full slate except for my Giants. They're in the Bay Bridge battle just tomorrow and Sunday, so they're off today. The rarity, they're off on a Friday, but they had a great series. They took 3 out of 4 from the Diamondbacks and opened up a nice margin between them and the third place D-backs, and now they're hot on the trail of those dreaded Dodgers. If you haven't watched any of these videos, you can tell I'm a avid Giants fan as I switch my hat for the moment. But since they're not playing, I'll go back to my Fantasy Sports Logic hat. And as you can tell, Brandon is a Stanford graduate with his Stanford visor on there. But let's dig right in. I posted these this morning. They're live on the blog. You can go to fantasysportslogic.com. Click on the blog every day. You can access these charts. And then a little later, I posted this on Twitter. So by probably 9 a.m. Eastern, this video will be in the link as well. Ballpark Pal, Aaron in particular, he's the founder. He has a lot of great things. If you go to his website, ballparkpal.com, provides a much deeper insight. But we get these charts from him every day. Fantasy chart, stadium report, pitcher preview, and the home run projections. Familiar face, Mr. Kyle Schwarber is back. 24.5% probability to hit a dinger today. He's got a nice matchup against Jordan Lyles. And the park boost in Philly, wind must be blowing out. We'll see that in a later chart. So who do you see? I went to the third person. What's popping out for you, Brandon?
Well, I think if I'm not incorrect, Schwarber hasn't had a hit this month. And Judge was on here yesterday and he was 0 for 4, although he did get a walk. But I'm not going with Schwarber until he picks it up a little bit.
Could be the day. I
Could
might
be.
play him just because of the probability, but
Yeah.
we talk about it. I think he has 34 hits on the season and 33 are home runs. So when he swings hard, and when he hits it,
It
it goes
goes.
a long way, but he does tend to hit more here than he does ball.
Yeah. Witt had a good game. I think he went 3 for 4 yesterday. So
Who was that?
Bobby Witt.
Oh yeah, he's
So,
an emerging star on that Royals team. Him and Perez, and I played Waters too. Waters is a up and comer there. He had a He had a nice game. Kansas City laid it on, not surprisingly, Mr. Carrasco. We talked about that yesterday. He got a couple of Yankees against Hunter Brown for the Astros, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, 32.5% for Judge. Nice matchup against Brown, park boost to 13%. You've got Matt McLean, the Reds are back in Cincinnati. Always a favorable field for hitters, especially as the weather warms up. Almost 27% for Mr. McLean. Matchup with Patrick Corbin, a lefty, tends to give up some gomers, and that park boost is almost 50%. So I believe the Reds are going to be popular in the main slate. Some other solid matchup probability increases. Kyle Tucker on the other side of that Yankee game for the Astros, nice 42% boost. There's another Royal, couple of Royals. There you go. Whit Massey, huh?
Yeah.
60% boost for Massey today. Whit 43. The matchups are favorable, and the parks could be some Royals and Reds. Double R tonight.
And Nola's one of the top rated pitchers coming out today, so should be a good game.
Agreed. There's CJ Abrams on the other side for the Nationals. That's the leadoff hitter. He's got a nice boost against Graham Ashcraft. And then a Pirate, probably the star for the Pirates, Brian Reynolds, 61% boost, 44% matchup against Colin Rea of the Brewers. So there's a lot of nice information there. Feel free to do with it what you like. A lot of people use it not only in creating their DFS lineups, but they utilize the information for player props, which you can access now through Drafters. Drafters actually, Brandon, the founder of Drafters, is coming into town. He'll be here for the next week, so maybe we can get together.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Let me know. I'll hop in the car and come down.
I will do that. Ballpark Pal's daily fantasy report does a really nice job with this by position. 3 of the top picks of the day. Got the FanDuel in blue, DraftKings in green, and then he gives you 8 pitcher and outfield probables to pop. Joey Votto, Ellie, Day, La, Cruz, McLean. You got 3 Reds at the top of the first 4 positions, and then you got a Red at number 3 in the second position. So it is looking to be a Red type day. You got Friedel over here, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your 5 stack attack. Let's see what the optimizer does with that, right?
Yeah.
They are picking on Patrick Corbin. Could be one of those 15-run Red days. What else do you see there? I know you're over eyeballing the pitchers. That's where your eyes go all the time. What's
Oh,
happening?
I like Nola. Well, Luzardo's in there. He's a favorite as well. So I'm gonna pay for Nola, and I'm gonna let the optimizer see who else we're gonna go with.
Yeah, Luzardo, I think his last start was one of the rare ones where he wasn't sizzling, but he's had a great year. Always big strikeout upside, over one of Minnesota's better pitchers on that list. Luis Castillo for the Mariners, always strikeout upside. An Angel that's been pitching well, Mr. Detmers, got the highest projected with 3,000 simulations is what Aaron does, where he's getting these numbers. See, 36 for FanDuel projection and 20 for DraftKings. Down in the outfield, not surprisingly, Mr. Judge, with a probability to pop up those home runs. Tucker, got Duran, who's had a nice year with the Red Sox. There's another red, Benson, another red, Fraley. You got 7 reds to choose from for your stack attack. And I have to get, we'll show you how you can get different with our stack attack mode. So you can cover those probabilities of reds breaking out today. We'll do tomorrow's and it'll probably be 1-0 and 11-inning game, but that's not what the stats are showing. You never know. Great pitching, offset, great hitting, and vice versa. But I think I can safely say Patrick Corbin is not one of the elite pitchers this year anyway. He's had some good years. Here's the starting pitcher preview. Speaking of pitchers, nice report card type grading system. Overall on the left and through the middle grades the last 1,000 pitches that have come out of the pitcher's hand and what they like to throw the most. You got that Brave coming back. He's been on the DL for a while. Freed needs to work on his 4-seam fastball, graded out as an F, but he's got a nice cutter and changeup. Might want to stick to those two. A and an A. Overall, nice grade. Projected to go almost 6 innings, 5 strikeouts, quality start, only 2.8 runs. Mr. Hendricks from the Cubs, same sort of thing, grades out F on his sinker, but nice on his chain, average on his 4-seam fastball. What do you see? What pops out? I mean, you're looking for those strikeouts and you eyeball Mr. Nola already, right?
I have, and Hendricks doesn't get a lot of strikeouts. He's averages less than one per inning. Nola's averages about 7 strikeouts, and he goes a little over 6 innings. Let's see, you've got your, well, we've got Darvish in there. He should get close to 6 strikeouts for the Padres. And who else do I like? No, and Luzardo, he'll go 5.5 innings and get close to 7 strikeouts. That's a safe player to go with. If I was going to stay away from somebody, it would probably be Flexen for the Rockies. He may go 5 innings, may get 3 strikeouts. I don't know what they're charging for him, but it shouldn't be too much. That's kind of what I see on the charts there.
Very good. I'm looking at a possible pitcher combination. Looks like that Anaheim Seattle game with Castillo against Detmers. Yeah, Detmers almost 8 strikeouts, Castillo 6.5. Both of them projected. That could be a nice 2-pitcher matchup. Throw in with your big red machine stack attack. Who else? Nola, as you said. Solid. Maybe Luzardo. Be my 4. Although that game's not too bad either. Merrill Kelly's had a great year. Arizona projected at 7 strikeouts in just under 6 innings against those Twins, who tend to strike out quite a bit. And then on the other side, over. Giants held the Diamondbacks bats at bay, but you've got some Corbin Carroll and Walker, Marte, got some firepower in that lineup. Here is the Ballpark Pal Daily Stadium Report. We talked about this earlier. Right on top, the park to pop. I mean, I just don't know how you just can stack the Reds in every single lineup and just sit back and rake in the money tonight.
That's not a guarantee, by the way.
This is our disclaimer. This is for informational purposes only. Any such rebroadcast or transmission of this message in any other form is strictly prohibited. Yes, we don't guarantee, and we're only looking at data, right? That's all we can do. We have 7 live player projection feeds. Ballpark Pal is one of them in a blend, and when we get to the optimizer, I'm thinking we're going to see some Reds popping, but we'll see when we get there in a few minutes. But Great America Ballpark, 23% boost in runs, even though the wind kind of crosswind, it looks like, gonna be blowing everything out to right field from the left-handed hitter. 31% boost in home run, 14% doubles and triples, and people say, well, why only 5 on base hits? Because everything's gonna fly out of the park. Only something hard hit off the wall right to the outfield, or they hold them to a single.
Yeah,
5% of the time.
that
Next,
should be a fun
Camden
game to
Yard.
watch.
Yeah, Camden Yard with a 15% boost. That's different. Look at the one there. They can't make up its mind. Blowing in out of left, across from center and to right. It looks like it would be called swirling. You have a
Yeah.
swirling one. Camden Yard. Maybe
Tornadoes inside the stadium.
Yeah, well, look, maybe there are thunderstorms in the forecast. I'll have to check that out. See the wind. Third in line, we talked about that. Citizens Park in Philadelphia, Mr. Schwarber, 33% boost in home runs there. So maybe it's a little, like we said, mix and match. The Royals got Witt, got Mendez, got Perez, you got Waters, I think his name, or Waiters. Could be a day for them and Mr. Schwarber. I'm giving you some other options, so it's just not all Cincinnati. Fenway Park in Boston, winds blowing right at the Green Monster. Home runs down 10% because that wall's so high. A lot of balls off the wall. Triples and doubles, 20% boost. Third in line is the Guardians with a 9% boost, although the one's blowing in, only 5% home runs. And then the house that Ruth didn't build, the newer Yankee Stadium, 25% boost in home runs. That's where Mr. Judge and Mr. Stanton come into play on the charts. Opposite end of the spectrum. Look what's down there, second from the bottom. That's rather surprising.
Yeah, well, look at the wind coming right at you.
Coming off the lake. If you're familiar with Wrigley Field, the friendly confine, beautiful park, the ivy in full bloom, but it is greatly affected by which way the wind blows. Normally, for in August, comes out of the southwest and gives the balls a boost. Sheffield, Wayland Avenue.
Ever watch a game from the Cubby Bear Lounge up in the up above?
I've been down below in that lounge many a times before the game.
I figured you had.
I actually made my way to the ballpark though. And then afterwards you go. It's quite the festive occasion. But yeah, Petco and Wrigley, the two bottom, both with 9% drop off in production. That is surprising, especially look who the Cubs are hosting.
Yeah.
That is anomaly. Is that the word?
You don't think those Atlanta bats are going to travel well to Chicago? It looks like.
Yeah, the Braves. We talk about them. I mean, I still don't think that stat's going to keep people from stacking Mr. Acuna and company. They have been on the Cubs. I mean, what?
They only
pull up the over/under for that game. What is it? It's still got to be like 10.
It's probably around 10. Might be higher. They scored. I think it was 12-5 yesterday. Atlanta.
They played in Wrigley.
I believe so.
Opened up a 4-game slate. Yeah, if you can look at that real quick.
Let me check.
That's an interesting stat, and I didn't see any Braves. Usually Acuna's right here. There he is, second from the bottom, but he's still second from the bottom, meaning seventh. He's the seventh top.
Yeah, I guess they didn't play yesterday.
I guess I don't remember that. That game.
No, they had the day off. So today it's only 8.5 is the over under.
Wow.
That's an early game. 11:20 our time.
Yeah, pull up the weather. What's it? That's unusual. They must have had a cold front come through. Something to watch there. Cubs Braves, only 8.5 total. You've got Fried coming back against Hendricks. Interesting. I can't believe they let Fried go more than 5. Just coming back off the DL. Braves bullpen. Wrigley holding the runs down. So we will for sure talk about that one tomorrow.
Yeah. 78
that-
degrees and sunny.
78 and sunny, huh?
Mhm.
So wind out of the north.
Wind is out of the northeast, 14 miles an hour.
What? How fast?
14.
Oh yeah, there you go. Well, that's what it is. It tends to knock balls down, but I'm telling you, it's going to have to really be knocking them down against Acuna, Olson, Albie, Murphy, Riley, Parrott. I mean, that lineup is just like crazy. And then the Cubs. Interesting. I wonder if it's going to hold down the ownership. We'll look on our optimizer here. Here's a couple of nice promotions while they last. Currently, if you haven't taken a test drive of the Contrarian Edge optimizer, 7 days for only $1. We will gift you from Drafters currently a $20 free entry into their $2 million NFL best ball style contest, with an opportunity, a chance to win their $300,000 first prize. That's a wonderful promotion. You don't need to upgrade. We know you're going to love it, especially when we expose what's there now in a few moments. If you just try it for 7 days, I will reach out, make sure you get that $20 free entry. If you like what you see at Drafters, you want to deposit some money, you can deposit $100 and receive $100 credit with the promo code FSL100. They've got player prop picks in there now. They have your normal daily fantasy contest, and also their best ball style contest. There's the 20, and then there's a $3 one that I think is filling up pretty rapidly. So check it out if you do like what you see, which is this. Voila. This is the optimizer that we are excited about. Thing has grown leaps and bounds. 7 daily player projection partners, and not just any 7. You got Ballpark Pal in there. We are the only one that they provide a feed to currently. 3,000 simulations, as we mentioned earlier. Got the Baker engine. This is their first year for baseball. Simulation 10,000 times. Frank at FTN data, not to be outdone. How many times has Frank simulate a game? Brandon, do you recall?
No, I don't. But
40,000 times.
Okay.
That's a lot of simulation.
Well,
So you got 40 and 10 and 3 right there, which is those 3 providers. That's 53,000 simulations of a Major League Baseball game. We have RotoWire with Shannon over there and Peter, been around a long time. They provide data to some of the premier sports sites on the internet. Sport Radar with Mr. Williams, Sports Data IO with Charles, and Stats Perform with Corey. Combining with our proprietary secret sauce blend gives you all this data. You can see on today's slate, Brandon's pick in the earlier charts, Mr. Nola, like he's projected at 50% ownership. That would
it's pretty
be
high.
a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of people like him besides you, but get the across the board, you got a low of 15 projected by Frank with his 40,000 simulation. Looks like a high of 21.7 with Sports Data IO. Second, Mr. Castillo. Not surprisingly, those are the 2 highest price pitchers on the slate. And Mr. Luzardo falls in there number 3. Really valued Mr. Detmers at 8,200. You Darvish at 8,300. Logan Allen against the White Sox. That could be a sneaky play. Only 7,900. Projected for a solid 15 with most of them. 13 with Frank. Colin Rea, 6,700. The highest position player on the optimizer today, Mr. Tucker, edging out Mr. Judge. Needs a better value. 25% projected ownership. 5,700, Judge at 63. The first time in a long time that Mr. Acuna isn't at the top. Where is he falling? Where are you, Mr. Acuna? Going to go to team, go to Atlanta. Oh, you know what?
Not playing today.
Yeah, he is. He's in Wrigley, but that must be an early game. What if they're starting earlier? He's down on the main slate, right?
Yeah.
Let's see on the, you choose different slates. I just flipped it over to the showdown.
Oh, that is the early game. That's
It's an afternoon. They used to play all day games, remember?
yeah.
They are an afternoon matinee at Wrigley. Cubs, Braves. So that will be a showdown only. Maybe on FanDuel it's included in the main slate. It's not on DraftKings, but you can use DraftKings or FanDuel here. That shows you the showdown. Wanted to check on the time of that Cubs game. So you got a turbo slate. The Reds, Washington, Detroit, Tampa Bay. And a little two-game turbo. And then in the main, because I want my team, I'm going to refresh this back to the main. What time is that Reds game?
It's 6:40 tonight. Oh,
Oh, Danny Red's not there either. Interesting. All excited and no place to go. Looks like they are on a they're on the slate. Would that be the night, not the main?
3:40 this afternoon.
What time?
3:40 our time, so 6:40.
5:40.
5:40.
You know, he said 2:40 Eastern or 2:40 Pacific.
It says 3:40 Pacific.
Oh,
here.
3:40. Okay,
Yeah.
it's starting before. So all that about the Reds and the Cubs and the Braves. If you're playing the main slate, you don't have to worry about it. So we're back to the main. So we're going to show you what this can do now that we've rambled about those two games. It's going to make it a little more difficult. Can't just stack those Reds and run like I was thinking. So what we've created here is the ability, you can just generate lineups and see what happens. No stacking, two players. It'll just throw out there what it thinks would be the best plays without stack. But we studied strategies. And in a larger slate like the main one, even though you're minus no Giants, A's today, no Cubs, Braves, and no Reds. With we have Yeah, we have Kansas City, so I'm leaning there, but set it to 5. If you want to lock in anybody, you can. You don't have to, you can just let it do its thing. I tend to lock in a pitcher or two just to see. I probably would do Detmers over maybe Castillo, Nola, Luzardo, Kelly. But we'll just let it do its thing, put it on auto. You see, could have saw quickly when I did that. You could go by team if you wanted to. Let it do its thing here, it's calculating. Got stack attack mode is off. I'm going to turn it on. You want to let it run through the motions that Brandon mentioned yesterday, up to or sometimes over 1 million different possibilities. You wouldn't think, but there is, or maybe you would think because you're an extreme math enthusiast. Trying to figure out things here. Looking for those best 5 stacks. Still calculating. Boom. Important to make sure you let that go. So generate lineup. I'm going to put the stack attack mode on. I always leave the contrarian mode. That was our kind of our flagship. We are the contrarian edge optimizer to give you a way to be different. And I'm going to see. Stand that back out. Let's see what it's picking. I think you're going to enjoy this. Doing its thing behind the scenes again. Be patient. It's going through all the games and it's giving you diversity. Boom. That's a little message. Don't mind that. That'll be out of there. We are in beta, but the pricing is extremely attractive at the moment. $29.97 a month after the 7-day test drive or one-time lifetime. I think we're going to limit it, see what happens. The first 1,000 people, Brandon, in the month of August at that price. We'll honor that price. See what happens. It's just so much below the market, and we don't believe anybody out there has 7 live player projection feeds with the blend. But here's our blend, proprietary secret sauce of the 7. I'll move Brandon and I out of the way. Put it down here. You okay down there? Can you see?
I can see.
You're saying, well, Daryl, I only see 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a little arrow over here, it's kind of hidden. You can slide and find the other 3. So look at the diversity. What I love, this is what we created. Took within a couple minutes, give you a lot of options. 7 in the blend, and then you'll see a little area down here. Look at some of these. There's Allen. He's kind of sneaky. I like Detmers and Allen. The stack is the Cardinals against those Rockies that have struggled as of late. I think you get into their bullpen. You got Goldie. You got Mr. Schwarber as a non-stack. You got O'Neill, Noonbar. I like that. You got Devers as 1 year off 3, a lot of power with Boston, Mateo with Baltimore, and then Cardinal staff with Goldie, Contreras, Gorman, O'Neill, and Noonbar. So you can look around and see what you like. I like that one. Merrill Kelly and Paxton, never a bad pitching combination. Another St. Louis, but look at it's different, right? You got Arenado and Goldie. The catcher again, O'Neill. They threw in Tucker. So the idea was, instead of you having to go through and sort, you as a user, a viewer of this video, it automates things and it throws out the best combinations of what we call stack attack. You say why 5? Because more often than not, I think it's plus 90% in the top. If you're playing any max 150s in DraftKings, they have that mini max $3 that's popular, either 100,000 or 125,000 total. You can either 10,000 or 15,000 on top, depending on the slate. The way it's broken up a little bit today, it's probably 100,000 on top, but That's a nice little $3 max 150. There's 50-cent ones, there's 25-cent ones. I think there's even dime one. And then there's as high as $15 one, which normally has a $50,000. So whatever your preference, and we're not encouraging you to do max 150. You do a max 20, it's a good strategy, but the winning lineup almost always has a stack of 5. And you say, why? Well, the correlation makes sense, right? If the Cardinals happen to pop against the Rockies today and score double-digit runs, normally be a lot of correlation. Arenado, Goldsmith, both homer, O'Neill, Noonbar gets on base, scores a run, maybe steals a base. This picks that all out for you, and then important to have the pitchers that click, obviously, and then what's going to make those lineups is the stack with the off. So if you look around, here's a Pirate stack, which would be very different, right? Against Rhea of the Brewers, and they're adding Mookie and Bobby Witt and Ohtani. How do you like that one?
Yeah, that's a good lineup.
That would definitely be what I would call a sneak stack attack. I don't think the Pirates are going to have a lot of ownership, and you've got some solid. I mean, Ohtani, Mookie, and Bobby Witt. They're all capable of a homer or two. So that's a pretty good one. That's Sports Data IO. There's a Boston stack. The weather showed you that the Green Monster could be getting a lot of balls hit off of it. So I'm going to do, we haven't tried Sports Data IO in some of these videos. What you can do down here, you can go, I mean, I can do 150 if I wanted. Got Yu Darvish, Severino for the Yankees as the pitchers there. Let's see what happens. See a 20. Going into generating multiple lineups to show you it's working on it. Here it comes. Max exposure. I could have set that down. It's 100%. So maybe some of the guys, look at the breakups. This is what we love. It throws your CSV. You can save that, upload it right into DraftKings for a 20 match. But Brandon, it gave us a Mets, a White Sox, a Houston, a Toronto, a Milwaukee, a Texas, a Yankee, a Dodger. It gave us almost every team at stack, right?
Yeah, you're
That's
covering
diverse.
quite a few bases.
Yeah, and that's what we tried to do, right? I mean, it depends on your strategy. If you're playing multiple lineups, this is for coverage, right? Not recommended. I mean, if you're playing a single lineup, the stack hits, you're going to crush. If it doesn't, and you got all your eggs in one basket, you won't do so good. But if you want diversity, the goal is to give just one lineup at the top, which could pay off, guaranteeing would nicely. So see the diversity. You could say, well, okay, I want to see it. I want to see even more. Okay. Look at that speed. That was almost like, I don't know how that would have been humanly impossible, but it was a machine. That did it. It spit out all 20 for you to look at. Right? There's Luzardo and Darvish. That's a nice combo. Right? With the D-backs, I said they're potent. That has most of their potency. Corbin Carroll, there's Walker, McCarthy, he's speedy outfielder. And they just picked up Peterson from the A's. And then it throws in Mateo for Baltimore as one of the off guys. Contreras, he must be the popular catcher today for the optimizer. Not a bad play. And oh, this is the other Walker. So you got Christian Walker, and then you have the Walker from the Cardinals. So you get the idea. A lot of diversity, right? Look at the mix in pitchers. There's Castillo Detmer, Logan Allen Detmer, Wainwright. Not so crazy about that one, although he's facing Colorado. I guess if he's going to break out of it, the Rockies would be the team, and you definitely would be different playing Wainwright. I don't think he's gonna have a lot of ownership. So you get the idea. I could have produced 150, I could have produced 5. Lots of great things there. Anything you want to add? Just brought up the pro options. Well, there's so many things, right? What we tried to do, I mean, if you're one of those people that wants to get like super manageable, or what would you call it? You're over managing, because you just like to do those things. You can definitely do it here. There's so many different things to play with. You can fade team. You can get specific with min and max exposures for 312 different player possibilities in the main slate. You don't really have to set. I mean, if you didn't want to use the auto, you could do your own stacking diversity. Minimum, we have it just default at 6 fantasy points, kind of our average of what you'd want in your lineup. Lots of cool things. Like I say, you can do this for DraftKings, FanDuel. Currently test drive this baby for $1 for 7 days. Go right here to the home page. Watch that little video. It's less than a minute, or maybe a minute exactly. Talks about the test drive of 7 days. Here's some features video. It's about 3 minutes. We've added the stack attack since then, and automation. And after the 7 days, for the next 1,000 people that come in, it's only $299.97 lifetime, one time. What sports, Brandon?
Well, we have baseball, we have NBA basketball, we have football, and we will add PGA golf next season.
That is
Yeah.
absolutely right. I mean, I don't know. There are a lot of great optimizers out there. We believe value-wise, 7-player projection data feed and our proprietary blend. You get baseball right now. We're going to soon be adding football. There most likely will be 6 5-player projection feed. Ballpark Pal is only baseball, and then our blend, NBA and golf. One location, one price for the next 1,000 people that come in. We will guarantee the $299.97. There might be another package available. There's rumors Monday, Brandon, we're going to have a partner promotion that may light up the industry. Although we think it's just a light up the industry.
Yeah.
At least I do. Well, thank you. I hope you're feeling better with that shoulder. Thank you for attending. I'm going to do what everybody about this time of the video hopes I do. I'm going to just end the recording. Let people get back to focusing on their lineups. Hopefully having an amazingly awesome, super spectacular, and I won't forget, prosperous fantasy day. Hold on just a second.